Hey, Dynasty coaches, how we doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Dynasty players as well. Hopefully you're seeing this. Hopefully your coaches will pass this along to you. Coach Fitzgerald here, wanting to provide you guys with some drills that you can do at home this week. Most of these drills you do not need extra equipment for besides a ball and a bat. Some of them though, for the hitting, if you do have a tee and the ability to hit off a tee at home, that's going to be helpful as well. But some of this stuff you can be very creative with as well. Okay, and I'll try to explain some of that as we go. But the first thing I wanted to share with you guys is some ladder drills. Okay, and I know you guys have done ladder drills at the yard and probably within your own practices, but ladder drills are a really effective way to increase footwork, especially for, I love doing this with infielders. I think it's a really effective way to get our feet activated. So I like to do it at the beginning of practice with those guys. So I'm going to show you a few of those drills. I think there's 6 different ladder exercises that you can do. And the first one is the 2-foot hop. Okay, so this is the 2-foot hop right here. Pretty simple. Sorry that you have to watch me do this. All right, 2-foot hop, both feet in. Okay, you're trying to stay within the center of your body, and pretty simple. Okay, both feet in at the same time. You stand on the balls of your feet. Try not to fall forward, as you can see me kind of doing a little bit at the end there. Try to stay within the center of your body. Okay, the entire time. The second one is going to be both feet running. Again, both feet are going to go into each box. All right, and you are trying to stay as efficient as possible here. Quick feet on the balls of your feet. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, hopefully you guys do it quicker than I do. All right, but that's the goal there. The other one is the use of the arms. Okay, make sure we're using our arms when we do these drills. I'm not the best at it, especially in this one, but you do want to use your arms as if you are running as well. Okay. The third one is called the icky shuffle. This is sometimes a hard one to learn. Okay, we're just going side to side. Both feet are going to go in. You're tapping twice there in the middle. All right, and this one can be difficult, especially for our younger guys. I'm going to put this in slow-mo here. Playback speed, boom. Okay, so side to side. This will separate the good dancers from the bad dancers. All right, but that's what it should look like. Okay, again, your goal here is to be as quick and efficient as possible with your footwork. Okay. Our next one is going to just be one leg hops, and you can obviously do these on both legs. You should use your arms while you're doing this to drive yourself forward. Again, want to make sure you're staying in the center of your body and not falling forward on these, although you do want to be on the ball of your foot the whole time, landing soft. All right, and you can do that on both. Next one is just going to be a sideways hop with both feet. All right, so both feet are going to go in. You can do this either way. You can cross your feet over. So like, for example, on this one, like putting your left foot in the next box, if possible, is another way to do this. But again, you're just looking at trying to be as quick as possible here. And there you go, this one here. Okay, in and out. Try to keep your shoulders straight. Try to keep your hips straight. Okay, you don't want to be, too far side to side there as far as your hips turning. Okay. And the next one is going to be the skaters or skiers, however you want to look at it. Okay, you're just hopping side to side. One foot's going to be in the box. We'll show that one more time. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so there's some ladder drills for you that can kind of get your feet activated and ready to go. Okay, the next set of drills that we're going to look at are for pitchers and just overall for arm care. Okay, and this first one actually you can use with hitters too. It's a PVC drill, but Coach Brown is going to be the one showing these drills. Okay, and I'll kind of voice over and tell you what we're looking at doing here. So the first drill is it's called PVC or hip separation. Okay, and I'm just going to have you watch this real quick. So we've taken a PVC pipe, okay, and we're draping it over our shoulders. Obviously, you can do this with a bat or preferably like a broomstick would work as well, something a little bit longer. So he's almost in like his throwing position right there with where his hands are. But all he's looking at doing here is he's keeping his shoulders straight. Okay, obviously his head is on the target, but all he's focused on here is his hips. Okay, the only thing that he wants moving here is his hips. All right, and really what this is teaching a kid to do is how to separate, all right, the top half of the body from the lower half of the body. Okay, so you notice that's all he's doing here. Notice the front foot is slightly open already. This would be like at landing, okay, where your front foot is going to be open. You don't want to land with your front foot closed, okay? Your front foot is going to be slightly open. And all he's working on here, again, you can see that he is already into, like, his hips are moving, are starting to turn, but his top side is back, okay, is keeping his torso intact. So why do we do this, or what does this do? Okay, if we can teach ourselves to separate the top half from the bottom half, we're going to create more power. All right, it's going to create more torque, and it's the same thing with hitters, right? If you think about getting fooled on an off-speed pitch, so you lunge forward, and all of a sudden, if your top half and your bottom half are attached, once your bottom half starts to go, your top half starts to go, and you don't want that to happen. You want to be able to keep that energy in the back, okay, in the back of your body, so that when everything is ready to go ahead and explode and turn, all right, it's going to go ahead and be as most efficient as possible. So let me show this one more time. So notice his shoulders are staying straight, okay, and all he is focused on there is his lower half turn. Now, for these, you do want to do it with both sides, even though Coach Brown is a left-handed thrower, so he is working on his dominant side right now. He does want to work on these on his other side too, because you don't want to create inefficiencies on both sides and in one side of your body. You don't want one hip to be stronger than the other hip, okay, because this hip is also very important in this whole process, okay? So you would do it on both sides. All right, very good. The next one that we're going to look at is a wall drill. All right, and I'm gonna keep it in slow-mo, sorry. All right, so for this wall drill, you'll notice Coach Brown is up against the net here. Okay, you can do this against a wall, you can do it against a bed sheet hanging from the ceiling, wherever you want to do, but he's up against the wall. His shoulder is touching or his tricep right here is touching the wall. But what we're looking at doing here, so his arms are crossed, okay? He's gonna go ahead and he's gonna leg lift, all right? And as he leg lifts, he wants to start moving forward, okay? It's creating momentum, all right? So you'll notice what he does here. So leg lift, and we're moving forward, okay? You'll notice how he gets this hip, okay, turned a little bit. All right, this is that whole like torso creating the separation between top half and bottom half, all right, and leading with your front hip, okay? We do like to tell our guys to lead with their front hip, and that's gonna create that momentum, that downward momentum that we wanna create with our arms. All right, so again, arms are crossed. You'll notice at no point does he go backwards to hit the wall. All right, he does start driving forward, and boom. Okay, now we can also do this as if we are throwing. So you'll see in this rep, okay, he comes set like a regular, like he has a glove on. He's going to lift. He's going to separate hands. Now, again, with this separation motion here, you will never see his hand, okay, or his elbow hit the back wall, because we want to make sure that our momentum is always driving forward. We don't want to move backwards. Up and through, okay? A lot of his power in this, and so, you know, some people might say, well, how does he, you know, if we're not going backwards, how do we generate power going forward? He's generating power because on his leg lift, and as he starts pushing forward, he's got, obviously he's leading with his front hip, but he's got all of his torque and a lot of pressure in this back hip right now, okay? It's driving up through ground force from his front part of his toes all the way up his leg and into his back hip, all right, which is pushing and forcing his body forward, okay? All right, we don't want to think of it necessarily as falling forward, because then we're not driving, but he's pushing into the ground. He's creating a lot of ground force. So again, same thing with hitting or just regular throwing a baseball, all right, to push into that back hip, drive forward, okay, and then you see his separation there, all right? A couple other drills for simple arm care. If you don't have Jaeger bands at home, that's okay. I would suggest maybe looking into those, especially for some of our older guys. It's a great way to keep our arms in shape, or you can just buy regular, you know, regular bands. It doesn't have to be a Jaeger band. Another option for these also that you're going to see that you can use, well, you're not going to see them, but you can use you can fill an old carton of milk up, or a 2 liter or a gallon of milk, not 2 liter milk, a gallon of milk up with water. Okay, so after you finish it, fill it up with water. It probably is 2 or 3 pounds heavy. And you can go ahead and use that as well to do many of these. Okay, so the first one is going to be overhead tricep. You can actually use dumbbells as well if you just have dumbbells at home. So you'll notice it's just a tricep overhead push. Now, if you don't have the band and you're using, like I said, the gallon of milk or a weight, this would go upwards. So instead of pushing out, you would push up. Okay, so the hands would be behind the head and you would be pushing up vertically towards the sky. All right. The second one, so after you do reps of these, okay, and for these guys, 3 sets of 10 is usually a good kind of a good baseline. Okay, the strong, especially for our younger guys, the stronger you get, then you add reps or you um, add weight, okay, or resistance, either of those. Okay, but usually 3 sets of 10 is usually good for a warm up here. Okay. This next one is just going to be a chest fly. Again, if you were doing this without the actual bands, you might need 2 gallons of milk or gallons of water to do this. You could do it with apple juice. You can do it with whatever, but you could also use dumbbells. You can do these laying down on the ground too, so you don't have to do them standing. You can do them laying on your back, okay, arms spread to the side, and then up into the middle of your chest as well. Again, be creative. These are internal rotation. Okay, so for this one, notice his elbow is locked into his side. Okay, the only thing that's moving here. Okay, so he's basically moving from his elbow. Okay, boom, and into his chest. Into his chest. Okay, again, you can do this with a gallon of milk. You can do it with a dumbbell. You can do it with a lot of different things that you're holding on to. Then the last one here is external rotation. All right, so external rotation. All right, now he's using his other arm for this, but okay, if he was left-handed, he would have just turned to the back. Okay, but you'll notice he is now, oops, sorry guys. Let me get back to where I was. There we go. All right, so now it's the external, so he's pulling or pushing outwards in this one. Still all from the elbow. All right, the next drill that we're going to look at here is a balance drill, okay? And this is great for pitchers, okay? It's a great way to teach balance and just overall strengthen our legs as well, okay? So what Coach Brown is going to do here, all right, is there's a ball placed out in front of him. Oops. Ball placed out in front of him, all right? And he is going to go into his leg lift. After he gets into leg lift, okay, he is going to kick his front leg back, bend down, pick up the baseball with the throwing hand, come back up, back into leg lift, back down, okay, and then you can go back up. So you can do this multiple times. You can do this probably, again, try to do it 10 times in a row. That would be a very effective way to practice this. But again, it's a great way to just teach balance and also teach some power on that back leg. So I'll show it one more time after. So up. I need to create some more space in between the drills next time in my video. Sorry about that. So up, down. There you go. Back up. Good. All right. The next one, and again, I'm going to write this all into the little plan or that I send out to you guys in the email. The next one is just showing you the exercises for what we call super legs, which many of you know. So super legs is a great thing for pitchers to do a few times a week. It's 4 exercises. Okay, so you'd be doing 20 squats, 20 lunge jumps, 20 shuffles, and 10 squat jumps. All right. And maximizing this, try to do it 5, try to do it 6, try to do it 7 times, as many as you can go. But the squats are just body squats. Okay, so here's Coach Brown showing us how to do just everyday body squats. Okay, notice there's not time in between. He's not going down slow, back up. These are quick repetitions. Okay, our second one is going to be lunge jumps. Okay, so we have lunge jumps. Show you those one more time. Lunge jumps. And then we have shuffles. Okay, so he's just quick feet side to side using his arms as well. You can do 20 of those. And then last but not least, you have squat jumps. You'd be doing 10 of those. Okay, down, up. All right. So all of those things, again, if guys can work on those, especially the POs and anybody that just wants to get their arms stronger, all of those are going to help them. Okay. The balance drills for pitchers are also helpful for hitters. Okay. Anytime you can work on overall balance is going to help your overall game. Okay. All right. The next thing that we're going to look at now is hitting. All right. So with our hitting, we have, there we go. All right, Coach Perez here is going to work on some different hitting drills. The first one being a PVC and hip separation. Okay, so now if you don't have a PVC pipe at home, again, you could use a broomstick. You could use, even if you don't have a thing like this, I'll show you how to do a dry rep, okay? But it's nice to use with a PVC pipe because you can put that force into the ground and really feel the PVC pipe going backwards in the separation. So one of the things that we really try to teach with our hitters is separation, load and separation, okay? So you'll notice here, and sorry for the overlay here, he'll do it. All right, so what we're working on right now, so Coach Elvin is in his normal stance, all right, and as he is loading and moving forward, you'll start to see separation here, okay, oops, sorry about that, separation, okay, between his head and his hands, okay, so separation. Some people, pull the hands back, they call it pull the hands back. Some people say, scap load. There's so many different verbiages here, okay, and really as coaches, it's your job to figure out what verbiage works for your players, okay, and I like to use the term scap load, and what I mean by scap load is if you think about the scap muscle behind your shoulder, or if like pretending like you're going to punch something or someone, you want to drive your scap back, okay? You want to feel a pinch in your scap, and that's going to create a lot of power and a lot of tension, okay? So you notice that as he goes backwards, again, I'm going to show that one more time. Hello, Coach Brown again. So hands are nice and relaxed, and boom. Okay. Now that right there, that little movement is where you get that whole like elbow up. Okay. You hear coaches say, get your elbow up, get your elbow up. Well, it's kind of you're trying to create a cheat code with the younger players because sometimes, younger players that if they drop their elbow, you're afraid that they're going to, pop everything up. So you tell them to get their elbow up, but really your elbow coming up, quote unquote, is actually coming even with your shoulders. And the whole reason it should be doing that is to create that scap load, that tension. So you'll see right there, okay? Now he is in a prime position of power, all right, with his scap muscle. All right, but you're driving that PVC pipe into the ground. You should feel tense. You should be pushing it into the ground while you do this. And all you're trying, again, this is very similar to that PVC pipe for the pitchers. You're trying to create separation between your top half and your bottom half. All right. So you'll see that his hips start to go, but his hands stay back. Okay, and that's a big part of hitting. You want to be able to get into this position here. His hips are going to start to turn, but his arms and everything on the top half kind of lags behind a little bit. That's a good thing. Okay, hips before hands, boom. Okay, so that is the PVC drill. You can also do this. You can also practice this by using a bat. Okay, Paul Konerko used to stand in the locker room before games and do 100 dry reps. Okay, 100 dry reps of this next drill right here. He would stand, he would look into a mirror, he would pick up his bat, and he would just get into his load and separate position. Okay, and then he'd look in the mirror and see how it looked. And he would do it over and over and over again. So he's just getting into his load position. Sorry about that. Boom. Okay, and he would make sure that he was staying balanced, not getting over his front side too much. A couple of things to look at here. Man, I got to fix those overlays. Sorry about that, guys. When Coach Perez gets into this position here, okay, some of the things that I look for as a hitting coach, I like to see the knob of the bat pointed down towards the catcher. Okay, so you have this good bat angle right here. I like where his head is at. Okay, I like to see this scap load. He's in a very good balanced position right here. He's got a lot of power on his back hip. All right, that's going to allow him to make forceful momentum moving forward. Okay, and so all of these things are good. All right, he's landing soft on his front side. He's not, landing on his heel. All right, all of these things, bam. See how the first thing that lands is that toe. All right, that's all good stuff that you want to see as a hitting coach when you're watching your players do these things. Good job. All right. So the next drill then, okay, so if you don't, or if you have a tee at home and you can use it, awesome, okay. The next one is going to be the high tee drill. Okay, so with high tee, our big goal here with high tee is working our hand path, okay? And we as hitters and hitting coaches want to help guys, and we as hitters want to be able to match the plane of a pitcher's of the baseball, okay? And that might be confusing. If you want to talk more about that, we can. But the reason why high tee works is sometimes we get too loopy in our swings, okay? We work a lot of balls at our knees. And because of that, we often create a lot of upward angle with our bat, and that's okay. Like you're matching the plane, okay, and obviously when the ball's lower, if you're matching the plane, you're going to have a more upward swing. And what I mean by matching the plane, guys, if you think of a pitcher throwing a baseball from the mound is elevated, right? So the ball is moving downwards, and you have to match the plane. Okay, so the bat path and the plane of the baseball want to match. And that creates a little bit of upward movement in your swing. Okay, so that whole swing down on the ball thing, like sure that might work for some guys, but realistically, if you're swinging down, you're not matching the plane as well as you'd want to. So we can talk about that. But if you get two underneath baseballs, high tee is a great drill to use. Okay, and with high tee, you're just focusing on hitting line drives. For the most part, every drill in the cage off a tee, you're trying to hit a line drive right over the pitcher's head. Okay, right off his cap. So you'll notice in this drill, okay, he loads, he separates, he gets that good bat angle, and really all he's working on here is matching the plane. So you'll see, oops, sorry guys, I clicked too many times here. And right here, okay. So you'll notice on this drill, okay, what he's really focusing on is just getting his hands to the baseball in a good position. His hips are gone, okay, his hips are starting to leak, which is fine, all right, and then his hands are following behind. All right. So you do see that little upward cut. And what I mean by that is right here. Okay. So the barrel is a little bit below the baseball, and that's good. Okay. That's what you want to see. Also notice how quickly or how long his barrel is in the zone. So he is matching the plane of this baseball, and his barrel is behind the plate still. That's good. All right. That creates the ability to make a mistake on the velocity of the pitch. All right. So you can tell your guys, and I know, our coaches in Dynasty use this term, knob to the baseball, and you hear that, and that's okay. But you don't want to, when you say knob to the baseball, you have to make sure that your guys aren't pushing. You don't want them to push to the baseball, okay, with their knob. All right. And because a lot of times what that's going to cause then is guys to get out in front. All right. And they're not going to use their hips as efficiently. All right. If you want to get more in depth with these conversations, we definitely can, obviously. But I for sake of time, I don't want to get too in detail with it. But so you see, again, high tee, he's working to match the plane, and he's just going to hit a nice, easy line drive right up the middle. Okay. Finishing high. It's a great finish right there. Okay. So let's check out one more. Again, load, separate, matching the plane. Okay. His hands are staying inside the baseball. That's a nice, easy swing. Great finish. Okay. Turn and push on the backside. Boom. Makes it look good. All right. Our next drill here is going to be our Happy Gilmore or our walk-up drill. Okay. For the walk-up drill, again, we're just teaching momentum. All right. You want to drive power from the backside and the hip. Okay. So you're just going to step in front. Okay. And then a nice, easy swing here. One of the things you got to watch out for in a drill like this sometimes, and again, you're teaching kids to be athletic. All right, if they can move and swing at the same time, that's a good thing. All right, because it's teaching them to be more athletic and figure their body out for themselves. But one of the things I always try to watch out here on a drill like this is the back foot sometimes gets pressure on the back side of the foot, and really when you're swinging, that's never going to happen. You don't want to have pressure on the back side of your foot. You want to have pressure on the front middle part over here. So we'll see if that happens, because sometimes when you do this initial step right here, see, he does a great job. So a lot of times we'll see guys falling backwards at this step, but he automatically puts that pressure on the front part of his foot. Okay, nice and easy. And boom. Again, with this, we're trying to create momentum. We're trying to teach guys how to get into that load position, how to push off that back foot. And that's really what we want to see there. Okay. And again, a great, nice high finish. All right. Our next one is, well, I call it the pitcher load. You can just call it high load, whatever you want to call it. So he's going to get into a good balance position here. All right. And again, the whole focus of a drill like this is to teach guys momentum and to teach guys how, all right, to build off that backside. You're trying to gain a lot of tension in your back hip here. That's the goal. Gain tension in this back hip. So he's going to put all of his tension right now. He's pushing ground force through his back foot, okay, up his leg into that back hip. As he drives forward, He does a great, like right here, guys. This is such a perfect position for a hitter to see a hitter in this position. All of his power right now, all of his tension is right here. Okay, and it's just waiting to explode. So when he gets to this position, now you do see a little bit of leak tips right there, right? Like you do see a little bit of leaking right there. Okay. But because what's happening here, and some coaches look at it and say, oh my God, like that's not good. Like you don't want to see that. But his hands have stayed back. And what he's doing now is he's going to be pushing back. So he's put momentum through the ball. But then as his foot and heel land, all that torque is going to go from here into his hips and then up into his shoulders and his hands. And he's able to drive through it, match the plane, and hit a nice line drive up the middle. Okay. So again, pitcher load or high load, whatever you want to call it. Oops, sorry. And drive. Okay. Next one is a drill that Freddie Freeman uses quite a bit. It's just high inside T. This is a drill I like quite a bit too, and used quite a bit when I was a player. But the reason why I like this drill is I'm still focusing on matching the plane of the ball, but I've put it on the inside half. And what I'm trying to do here is honestly, as a right-handed hitter, I'd be trying to hit a base hit or a line drive, basically between the first baseman and the second baseman. Okay, I'm trying to keep. This is a drill to keep your hands inside the ball, stay intact, and just not focused on. You can say barrel the baseball. Sure, this is a pitch in a game, guys. Obviously, that you'd love a big guy like Coach Perez to smoke over the left field wall, but that's not always the best way to practice things. Okay. So the reason why I like this drill a lot again is it keeps me grounded. It teaches me to stay inside the baseball, to find the barrel, but also just to match the plane. So what I would expect our guys to do here is to hit a line drive up the middle, but again, their focus is going to be on the right side of the field, hitting a line drive. All right. So he does kind of top. He rolls over that first one just a little bit. All right. And again, this is a great drill to show that. And he knows it. Okay. And you'll see the adjustment he makes for the next one. High inside T. And you can even go more drastic on inside. And all right, he's able to keep inside, and ball comes flying back at him. Luckily, he's quick enough to get out of the way. All right, but again, that's a great drill. Okay, it's a great drill to work on at home, especially for some older guys that have already developed a little bit of strength, just to be able to stay inside the baseball, create some good bat path with their hands. All right. Next two are just going to be one-handed drills. Okay, some one-handed drills here. Okay, so we do top hand and bottom hand. Okay, again, the whole purpose of these guys is especially for the one-handed drills, just learning how to work our barrel through the baseball. These are hard for a lot of kids because they want to get really pushy with the bat. It's hard for them to separate again their lower half from the top half. But it's also teaching them how to use their hands individually, which is important to the swing overall. So you'll see here, Coach Perez is just normal stance. He doesn't step on these, okay, which is fine because he's more so working on just hand path here. You can do it either way. But his focus right now is, again, his focus mentally is knob to the baseball, okay, and that's okay. But again, you have to make sure that you're not pushing. And so when he does this knob to the baseball, you'll still see that he does get a bit under the baseball in terms of his barrel works under the baseball. All right. So you will see the knob go towards the baseball. His elbow does go in. He does get a scap load here. There's his scap load. Boom. Okay. He's gotten himself in a good position with his tilt, his angles, and then he drives his elbow in. Okay. Again, that's not something you want to tell. You don't want to have a kid actually drive his elbow in because that's going to take over all the other parts of his swings. Or his swing, excuse me. His knob does go to the ball. Gosh darn it. Sorry, guys. Okay, but he does still work underneath it. And right here. Let's see if I can pause it better. Right. Yeah. A little bit better. Sorry. Right there. Okay. So that's, again, he's working on his bat path. Even here, you might want to talk to a guy if he stands up a little bit too tall on his swing. Okay, you might want to have a little bit more tilt forward here on a swing like this, especially if the ball's lower. All right, but again, great job, palm up, palm down sort of thing. That's another thing you want to look for. And then you obviously do the top hand, or excuse me, the bottom hand, same way. All right, some guys are better with top hand, some guys are bottom with bottom hand. I always tell my guys, whichever one you're not as good at, do double the swings. Okay, that's usually a good rule of thumb. If you don't have a short bat, again, you could take a broom, you can cut it in half. You can use a little kid's bat, like if you have little brothers and sisters that use, very small bat for T-ball, you can do those and choke up on it. Those always work. You could even do top hand, bottom hand using a tennis ball with your bare hand. You could just use your, if the back of your hand would be the bat sort of thing, okay, or the palm of your hand if you're using your top hand. Okay, so again, we'll look at one more bottom hand swing again for this one too. Notice he's mimicking as if the other hand's on the bat, so he's still going to get his hand back. There's not going to be a scapulo because he's losing that back hand or that back arm. Okay, but then he's driving towards. You'll notice. Okay, you want to make sure that the shoulders stay tight as long as possible here. That's another hard thing to do, especially when you're doing the top or the bottom hand. Okay, guys will have a tendency to fly their shoulders out this way too early. Okay, he doesn't do it, but guys will have a tendency, like right now, they'll start pulling away. Okay, but he stays on line, okay, and hits a good line drive. The next couple we just wanted to show you, if you don't have a tee at home, you can always get a cone, bucket, put them on top of each other. I heard stories that Ichiro used to use pop cans. He used to stack up a couple pop cans to hit, use a tee, and obviously that ball will be low, but if you've ever seen Ichiro hit, he could hit the low ball better than a lot of guys, okay? And then another one, just slow motion swings. Okay, just slow motion swings. Videotape is the best thing, guys. If you can videotape your sons or daughters swinging or doing fielding drills and have them watch it, I think it's a huge benefit to them. Okay. Next set of drills here, we're going to focus on defense. All right. So for these drills, I want to first and foremost focus on, I didn't use a glove this entire time. Okay. Now you can obviously supplement, or you can obviously use a glove whenever you want, but I figured most people would be in their homes, even in their basement, in their garage, if they're doing these sorts of drills. The other thing too, if, I do a lot of the drills on my knees because I want to just separate my hands. I want my hands to learn how to work, without the footwork. Obviously you're going to add footwork in later, but I think it's a good way to do things. If you are on a hard floor, I suggest getting, some bath towels or something to put underneath the knees, because it can get, it can hurt after a while. So we want to make sure we're protecting those knees. All right. For our defensive drills, okay, the big focus here, guys, is posture. All right, I really want to talk about posture. So we see our knees are spread apart, okay, into a good position, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. I am pushing my butt backwards, almost like I'm doing a squat. My butt is not on my heels here. That's a really important part about this. Okay, I'm just sinking my hips and my butt back. I'm putting my hand out in front. All right, so I can see it. You'll notice my shoulders are tilted forward. All right, that's a pretty good posture right there. All right, pretty good posture position. Head is up, eyes are on the baseball. All I'm working on here, guys, is throwing a baseball against the wall, one hops, and just watching it go into my glove, watching it go into my hand. That's really all I'm gonna work on here. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to nice and easy reps. I do try to overdo it with my head. You'll notice watching the baseball go into my glove, I really try to overdo it. Nice easy tosses and just watching it go into my glove, almost overemphasizing ball going into my hands. Okay. The next one that we're going to work on is short hops. All right, we've done these before. If you've been in Dynasty, I'm sure you've done these with us in the in JJC or anywhere else. I start, all my infielders with these drills every day. But again, I'm in my posture is good. Now the difference with our short hops, okay, and these can be difficult, especially if you're throwing it off the wall, because you kind of got to be perfect. If you have somebody that can throw you the ball, a better short hop, that might be a good option. With our short hops, and a lot of the times what I'd like to say to my infielders is we work ground up. Okay, we don't want to pick our glove up too early. We don't want to raise our body up too early. We want to stay down as long as possible. So with our short hops, we're looking for a little bit of a push forward with our hands. And the reason being is we want to take away that short hop. We want to, get to the ball as fast as possible. On a regular ground ball, I'm not going to do this push through motion, all right, because the ground, it's just rolling at me, okay, and I just want to field it out in front and stick it, which we can, again, we can talk about later, but you'll see a slight push motion here, right here, okay? Now, that was a bad one for me because my hand started too high. So you'll see my glove is on the ground, okay? See how that's what I'm looking for right there is the guys to keep their glove as low as possible for as long as possible, and then a nice push through. Okay, and this isn't like a first baseman whipping through a baseball to pick it at first base. Like this is a nice, easy push, not a whip. All right, so again, through it. Oh, missed that one, and I think I bobble my throw here too. Yep, I'll hit myself in the face. All right, let's try that again. Okay, boom. All right, we're just kind of trying to, again, watch my head to the baseball. That's another thing I want to emphasize is my head staying down and to the baseball. Okay, but then I'm just going to go get it. Now we can also do these in forehand and backhand, which I'll show here. All right, so we're just going to open up on our front side. All right, we're staying low. This is a great one for tags, right? And again, we're just slightly going to the baseball here. We're just slightly going to the baseball. All right, then we do backhands as well. Excuse me. Okay, again, with our backhands, notice our thumb is down and we're just slight push through the baseball. Now, with backhands, I also like to work on picks. Oh, bobble ball. And I'll show you what I mean. This is a pick, all right? So instead of pushing through it, some guys are efficient, especially our corner infielders can be efficient at just picking the baseball. So you'll notice my elbow is going up here instead of my hand pushing through. I'm just picking, all right? But again, this is kind of all comfort, all right? And you want to have both in the arsenal, all right? All right, our next drill here is a deflection drill. I really like doing this. I used to do this a lot when I was in high school. I would just stand and throw a ball against a wall with and without my glove on. Here I'm using a tennis ball. You'll notice in this, all I'm doing is deflecting the ball off my hand. I'm not even closing my glove hand. I'm just deflecting it from the top of my palm into my hand. Okay, I'm just deflecting. And you just do 20, 30 reps of these over and over and over again, just deflecting the ball. Boom. Oops, sorry guys. Deflect. Okay, and then you put your glove on and you do it with a glove and you learn how to, especially as a middle infielder, this really helped me to be able to get the ball in and out of my glove as efficiently as possible, almost to the point where you don't, ground ball to second base and you're going to cover the bag as if you're turning a double play as a shortstop. If that ball's in the right place, you shouldn't even have to close your glove. It should just deflect from glove to hand, in and out. You're good to go. Okay, it's the fastest way to do it. Okay. Our next drill then is going to be, all right, this is just me working on quick feet. So I've backed up a little bit. I'm just throwing ground balls off the wall, easy, nice 1 or 2 hoppers, getting my footwork in place, right, left hand or left leg, left foot a little bit in front of the right, creating my angle towards first base. Head is down out in front, fielding it out in front of my body instead of between my legs. But really the focus here is going to be the step in front, okay, as if I'm going to first base. So step in front, boom. And so here's the difference between those short hops and a regular ground ball, which is what you see here. I'm not pushing through these ground balls. I'm just letting them come to me. I'm still fielding them out in front and sticking them, but I'm not pushing through with my hands. See, I'm just seeing it, boom. I funnel it up. I don't mind the word funnel because all good throws start at your chest. So go ahead and field it out in front and funnel it to your lower midsection. Okay, and then again, the biggest focus here is going to be that step in front, boom, quick feet, angle to our position, get into our throwing spot. All right. Again, one more. Boom. Quick feet. You can also do this as an outfielder. You can work on ground balls as an outfielder. We can chop our feet. We can field it. Okay. And we can work on our momentum going forward. Now, The older guys, I teach to do a step behind, okay? Call it a pro step, whatever you want to call it. I know crow hops exist. I understand that, but my frustration, or the reason why I teach the pro hop, is because a lot of times I've seen too many crow hops where all of our energy goes up. Okay, so we work on our step, and our momentum goes up into the air rather than forward into the base. So that's why I like to teach that step behind. For our younger guys, I just would let them try to be as athletic as possible and just say throw the ball as hard as you can to a base. Don't worry about footwork too much, especially with our 9, 10, 11 year olds, even maybe 12 year olds. You can start focusing on this a little bit more, but just let them naturally be athletic. All right. Because you don't want to, if you teach too much, hey, step behind as an outfielder right here. Well, that kid might develop into a shortstop or a catcher. And then now he's got to recreate this footwork, because he thinks that this is the right way to do it. And it's the only way. So that's what I would expect there. All right. I think I do one more here. I'll fast forward, chop your feet, chop your feet, field it out in front, and momentum. All right, this one here is, I've heard that, and I've seen this a lot with our age groups and of all level, is that kids just don't know simply how to hold the baseball after they catch it. So what I've done here is I've taken or when they throw it, I should say, I've taken just a regular baseball. All right, I am throwing it off the wall, catching it. I'm spinning it to get to a four-seam grip. Catch, get to a four-seam grip as quickly as possible. Catch, four-seam grip as quickly as possible. Catch, four-seam grip as quickly as possible. Now, when I say four-seam grip, this is what I'm looking for. All right. Our younger guys don't have hands big enough to do this quite yet. So if they have to use 3 fingers, that's totally fine, but they should still be crossing the horseshoe laces just like this. Okay. We don't want to see any other type of grip when throwing the baseball from an infield position or outfield position like this, a 2-seam fastball. All right. Or I don't know if they have that one on here. I don't see it. Okay. But we don't want to see the across these seams, because what's going to happen is we're going to create the wrong type of spin. All right. Because one finger, the longer finger, usually your middle finger will stay on the ball a little bit longer, possibly. However, if you pronate correctly, your index finger will stay on longer, and that creates just the wrong type of spin. Okay. That we don't want to see. It's going to create side spin rather than top spin. All right. So that's that one. All right, our last set of drills then for all of this is going to be our catching drills. All right. And so we just put 3 together, 3 very simple drills. Okay. Again, Coach Perez is in his catching position. He's just flipping a ball off a wall and working on framing. He is going to simply catch a baseball and frame it. What he's working on here is thumb under the baseball. It depends on age level too. For our younger guys, the main thought here is just catch the ball. All right, that's your job. Catch the ball. Okay. And again, I like using tennis ball and bare hand here. All right. For our older guys, we're working on thumb underneath the baseball. We can talk about working up. Okay. Especially that pitch at our knees. We want to work up back into the zone. There's so many different mindsets on framing. Okay. And it seems like it changes every year, but by and large, stick the baseball. Okay. Stick the baseball, especially for our younger guys. As you get older, we can talk on other things. If you've ever heard of the doorbell method or not doorbell, doorknob method, excuse me. But there's so many other ways to do this. And I just want our guys to catch the ball. Okay. Catch the ball in the zone. Okay. And if that means they have to stick it, then stick it. If that means they have to catch and bring it back up into the zone, that's fine. But as guys develop into bigger, stronger catchers, then we can really focus on the whole framing aspect and the intricacies of it. But by and large, just catch the ball. The second one is going to be just a pretty easy sit and get hit blocking drill. We're going to start in our knees. Okay. We're going to throw the ball off the wall, and we're just going to take it off of our chest. Okay. The glove is going to cover up down low. All right. And we're just going to let it get hit. Okay. Boom, that's it. Pretty easy, simple drill. The focus there is to just watch the ball the entire way, follow it with your eyes. Okay, chin goes down. Okay, chin goes down. We concave our shoulders a little bit, okay, to create a soft chest. All right, and we just let it hit off of us and die right in front of the plate. That's the goal here. You can do this obviously from a a standing position as well, or a normal receiving position, and then drop to our knees. But it's also good for our younger guys just to kind of sometimes sit and get hit. Dads, go ahead and put gear on, or put the gear on your kids and put them in that blocking position, and just take a baseball and one hop it into their chest and tell them not to move. Get them used to being hit by a baseball as a catcher. That's an important thing. All right, and then our last work is our throwing footwork. Okay, again, we're looking at catching, gaining ground, okay, and transferring. Now, some guys will teach replacing the foot, which is what Coach Perez does here. You'll notice he just replaces his front foot with his back foot there. All right. Some guys like to step in front, okay, but in the end, we're looking at gaining ground. Catch the baseball, gaining ground. You'll see he is starting his movement forward before he even catches the ball, which is an important thing too. Okay, and we're just gaining ground. All right, so that was a lot. I know that's a long video. I hope you guys get something out of it. I hope you're able to use it, send to your players. I will send you this along with kind of the name of the drills and just kind of the order it's in as well. And obviously, as always, guys, if you have any questions, please reach out. I love to talk about this stuff. If there's anything in this video that you disagree with, or you don't understand why I teach it this way, or why we as an organization teaches this way, please feel free to reach out and ask questions, because I think that's what this is all about, learning and getting better every day. And I don't claim to know everything either. So maybe there's something that's worked with some of your players that might work with everybody. All right. Have a great day, guys. And we will see you hopefully soon.